Episode 135 here at, you should know the place, the Fields Golf Club, joined by Ashley Young from the Fields. And so I just want to say, first off, big 2024, it feels like. Just everywhere I looked online, it kind of blew my mind, like seeing the Fried Egg talk about you and then seeing like Sweetens Cove down here doing their event. Is this kind of what you imagined for the Fields, like that kind of stuff?
I mean, no, you always hoped, but I mean, we just kept doing what we've been doing, and we're super blessed that it just kind of caught on. Andy from the Fried Egg kind of started a lot of that a few years ago. He wrote a really nice article about us, and Sweetens Cove's been great to us because they're super active in social media, and we would kind of banter back and forth, and then the road show, I was kind of joking with him because I saw his list and I was like, hey, if you want to come slum it down at the Fields, literally sent him a message like that, let me know. And then phone rings and a few days later, and it was Matt, and we had never even spoken before. And he actually was laughing. He's like, man, this whole time I thought you were a girl. And he goes till you answered the phone, because we never seen each other in person. He didn't put two and two together. And so he was like, are you serious? And I was like, at that point I was kind of like, oh man, they're going to Pinehurst and Red Feather and Mammoth Park. And I was like, and I told him, I was like, in my mind was saying no, and yes came out of my mouth. And then, so he showed up. We'd never even met, and we did the event, and he said it was they sold more spots at our place than any of the other five venues they went to.
It looked insane online, like just watching it.
It was a lot of fun. The food was really good. Epic down in Columbus did the food, and the food was amazing. And then, we lit up 6 of the greens, played some night golf, and they stayed out here for about 2 days, and it was a blast. So events like that, we were talking about the Peachtree Collective earlier, No Laying Up out of Atlanta. Just some of those events, guys are coming down from out of town, seeing it, having fun, and they enjoy the golf course, and I think too they just enjoy the vibe, and it's a place where it's all to themselves for the day, and we try to keep it pretty laid back. So just the culture, I think, of the place has really taken off, and Hagen's thing he did helped with the documentary and some of that stuff, and so just all that kind of snowballed, and I think people from out of town seeing it, so we're getting a lot of play from Atlanta, and really we've got more of a following almost outside of Troup County. Like there's people on the other side of Troup County, they're like, man, I've heard about this place for 15 years, I've never been out here. And then there's people driving in from out of town, so we're super lucky and gonna try to just live up to it and keep going.
That's what I was gonna say. Like every list I see on public courses, it's like flying to Atlanta, here's courses you can get to. I see the Fields on it, and I was like, this is insane, because it's a course, I don't know when it started blowing up like this, but it wasn't always like this. And I was like, it's weird to see it on those lists now.
No, it is. Like we got one that was the Instagram page, top 100 golf courses, and we got ranked, I think, in the top 30 in the state, and that's with everything. And I was a little like, at first, like, well, what is this list? And then my friends were like, actually, it's pretty respected list. And someone were calling, people started, and then we actually got a little hate too, like, how's the Fields on this list? But, which, whatever, I mean, I'll take it. And so super humbled by that. But I think they're pretty architecture forward kind of ranking and whatnot. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Golf Digest put us, we made the top 100 under $100 for the country, and I think it was the only one in the state of Georgia that made the list, which there's a lot of good golf courses in Georgia, but I think just stuff like this, we try to put ourselves out there, and if it happens, great, but if it doesn't, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, I know you won't say it, but to Ashley's one, every time I come out here, you're working. Me and Casey talk about it all the time. You can go to any course within
crazy to see
75 miles, and the only one where it's constantly being improved is here.
I wonder how many like owners of golf courses even know how to work the tractors. Like,
right.
That's what I want to know. Which I was gonna say too. Part of what I think what attracts me to the Fields is I love the story of. I always tell people when they ask me about it, I'm like, no, his dad designed it, and then he got it, and like he owns it now, and they're like, really? And I was like, that's just part of the story. I think that. like people love about it, which is sick. That
And he'll run up on Mike. He'll be
Yeah.
on the tee box
Right here.
in front of
Yeah,
us.
he just moved
couple
down
times.
here. So
Oh, did he?
yeah, he's lived in Athens for 30-something years, and last year he moved down. So
Got
got
tired
a
of the
place
dogs
downtown
over
over the
there.
range, and so you see him out here a lot more.
That's
so
like last-
that's fun.
when we brought a friend from Auburn that played at Auburn, we brought her down here to play, and we ran into your dad, and he was just so curious, like, so what'd you think about the course and everything? I was like, it's cool to see, and we drove off and I was like, he designed the course. I was like, it's wild.
Now he gets to fiddle with it. I try to keep him like from tampering too much, because I'm the one that's got to grow the grass back, and he likes getting out there and tearing it up. And
Son, what you need to do is when I drew this up, you need to do this like this.
Well, that's a good point. Like, what does he think about the way he designed it? And he left trees for a reason, I guess, when you designed it. Because was it all woods when he?
No, this was a working farm, so
Okay.
it looked like this. That's kind of where the mule came from. Was the story behind that? Was it was all this whole thing was it's been farmed for over 100 years. So they used to. It's a cotton farm, then a cattle farm, and then it kind of went dormant before it was sold to be a golf course. But it's probably looked pretty much like this for a long time.
Okay.
And then when all the rock walls out there, those are from when they were plowing it with mules. This flagstone that's in Troup County comes up, they'd stack it, make terraces so they could farm the hillsides. And we were actually looking at logos with Seth McWhorter that did the new logo, which has been awesome.
He's so good. Reporter, creator.
He's got talent.
Yeah, he does.
We were looking at doing a rock wall, and he's like, well, what's the story there with these things? And I'm like, well, the mules. And then we both looked at each other like, a mule. That's it. So,
Well, you think we'll get a secondary logo with Ace by chance?
yeah, y'all were mentioning that before. I think we need to do it. We made him some stickers in there that say Ace stole my snacks. He's got his face on there because he likes to get in the golf cart and take sandwiches and whatnot.
Dude, we love
But
seeing him
yeah,
around.
we've got some alternate mule logos too. We're going to put out for some of our tournaments we're going to do this year, like member guest, club championship.
I like
all
that
kind
logo
of
with the
stuff.
flag in his mouth, the flag stick, and he's kicking.
Yeah,
That's a sick one.
yeah. We're looking at. I like that one. That's one of them. So we had 5 we were trying to pick between, and I think we're going to do some version of a mural of that on the side of the clubhouse
That'd be
out there, so you can get your selfie in front of it.
Yeah. What's your dad think about it though when he comes out here and sees you? Like last year, I feel like was a big year for the Fields. Every time we got on social media on Instagram, it was a tree was getting knocked out or a bunker was getting filled in, and you were making all these improvements. Did he was like, oh, that's good. I'm glad you did that, or?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them were his ideas. So the course is 30 years old, and a lot of courses are hitting that age because it was built kind of during the start of the boom. So the golf ball's gotten a lot longer, equipment's gotten longer. So, the Fields is not a long course by any means. It's protected around the greens, but so a lot of the work we were doing is try to find a little length or angle, like number 2, changing the angle a little bit, getting more teeing areas that are easier to take care of, like 18, instead of having, because the owner between us, he did a lot of good things, but they redid a lot of the tee boxes, and they were kind of small, just, tee decks stacked up. A lot of them were sand capped, so which is a nice thing to do if you're at a club where you can walk mow and water your tees all the time. We don't always have that much water, and we try to keep a pretty minimal staff just to keep it affordable. And so a lot of the tees we're trying to just take some of the sand out of there and get it back to clay so it holds water, and then make larger areas so you got more options for angles, and also you can mow it with a bigger unit instead of having to get on it and just make these tight little turns. You can mow these bigger swaths. So like 13 we did a few years ago, 18.
18 feels about double its size
Yeah, it is.
from where it used to be.
And we shifted a little bit to get out of that shade so that we could get that back blue tee in there, because it used to just not really grow where it was. And also just, again, that whole, get some length where you could change angle and tease the green, or you can move it left and kind of force you to make a decision in the fairway. So you can kind of really change up that hole a lot depending on where that tee is. And we can also use it as a secondary tee for tournaments for 6. So you can actually cross tee it, up on the back, on the side of that. And you can't do it during busy Saturdays and stuff because it just probably gets sketchy. But when we have events and people know what's going on, then you can actually make holes like 6, because again, when it was designed, a lot of those that you're playing across a ridge on like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're playing across that ridge. So a lot of times the ball was meant to land on top of that ridge. And if you really smoked one, you get it over and can run. But now with the length, a lot of people, especially if they're not playing the back tees and playing the whites, still got enough length that you're getting over that. And you're having some short wedges into these. So we're trying to get some teeing areas back to where the course was kind of how it was designed, to answer your question. Trees, again, it's 30 years old, so some of the trees that we took out were either for, now originally it was, they were bent grass greens. We've got ultra dwarf Bermuda now, so it needs more full sun. So some of the trees we've taken out are like on 4 was to get shade off number 2 green and number 4 green in the morning and afternoon to make those perform better and get a little more airflow. Some of the trees that were planted, when they were this big, now they're big trees. So just trying to open up the sight lines and stuff like that. So it's also aesthetics. I mean, when you're out here, a lot of it, we just want the look of it to be.
How often are you riding
open.
around throughout the day? Like with your notes on your phone, like I need to do this, I need to.
I mean, my note list on my phone is.
Do you have like a checklist you're trying to accomplish?
Right. Somewhat. I'd like to say we shoot from the hip a lot based on weather and what we can do, or if we have crew and equipment from other jobs. So sometimes like we'll have a shaper or something that can come in and we'll be like, all right, we can do this, or the weather's right, or we got the bandwidth to do it. So that's the nice thing about Dad being the architect and me doing the grounds. We can work together and call an audible pretty quick. Whereas if you're at some clubs, you'd have to budget, you'd have to get an architect in there, you have to get approval, you have to make a decision. We can just go out there and kind of do it and figure it out. So, but yeah, the list, I'm out there. I mean, sometimes I'm out there all the time. A lot of times at night when nobody's here is when I'll ride around, or early mornings. Some days I'm with the crew all day. Other days I don't go out there for a couple of days at a time because I'm stuck up here with other stuff. But if I had my choice to be out there all the time.
Is it almost like not a curse, but like if you don't know him and his dad designs golf courses too, and you help him out with a lot. So is it kind of a curse to have that mindset that when you're riding around the fields, you're constantly thinking golf course design instead of just like maintaining what you have?
No, I don't think so. And I don't think about the architecture a ton at this point. It's kind of is what it is. So now I just think of it as like polishing what's there. So maintenance, I think about all the time. I mean, people are like, I bet you play golf all the time. Like I'm stressed out by the time I get to 3 because I've seen a bunch of things I either want to fix or need to fix, or this rope's off, and you gotta let it go enjoy yourself sometimes. But that's why I like the evenings. Nobody's out there. You just kind of look at it. But I wouldn't say it's a curse. I mean, it's a huge blessing to be able to do it every day. But yeah, it does get. You've got all these things you want to do, and you can do. You can't always do them right then. And it'll even be things people say, or they have good ideas, or they might be right about a pain in the ass area or whatever. But it's just when we can get to it.
My favorite thing, I think, last time we talked, you were telling us about, which I didn't know this was even what it was, but in hole, I think 11 pond was that invasive species.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we see on Instagram, you're out there with the guy has like the floating bobcat clearing it out.
That thing was rad.
Yeah, and it was sick. How it just float. But I was like, just that you hear what people say, and you're like, you know what, I am going to make it better. And like you put the money in, and that was cool just to watch. That thing just floating around in the pond. So he had to dig all the way underneath stuff. And
it's all floating. So that's water hyacinth. It's like one of the most invasive plants in the United States. It's all over New Orleans, but so those are all individual plants that float. We were talking about that on the video, and then they'll float, and they're kind of on these most organic little styrofoam balls that they produce, and then the wind blows and it blows them all together, so it looks like a clump, and then more of them will sprout, and it gradually just takes over. So they're at the surface and the roots hang down, so he's just kind of floating, and he just got a rake and he scoops them up. Then we put them on the bank, let them dry out. We've still got to go down there and clean some of the residue up, and that keeps us from having to spray it, because if you spray it and it dies, it sinks in the water, and then oxygen changes, all the fish die, so it's a little greener to do it that way, and it's faster. We've still got some work to do on it. Eventually, we'd like to bulkhead the front of that green so that front left pin that's just a doozy over there, we can prop that up a little bit. Also aesthetically, it'll look better. So that kind of stuff's on the list. But yeah, getting that pond back because it wasn't always there. Some birds or something brought it in, and it just took over the pond, and then it was thick. I mean, there were balls out there on top of it. You could see.
I know. I've hit it in there several times, and it don't like bloop. It's just like a doop.
Yeah.
And it sits there. Like, I can see my ball sitting on
You've
this.
been there 100 times.
100 times.
When you're riding to scope it out at the end of the day, are you listening to music, or are you just?
A lot of times I'm just
It's just sunset.
letting the
just
ace
riding off
run and keeping up with him, making sure he's not jumping in the neighbor's pool. Or yeah, sometimes I'll throw some music on, but a lot of times just ride around and taking notes. Take a lot of photos instead of notes. Just take a. That's why the Instagram a lot of times just has sunset or sunrise photos because that's when I'm out there. But yeah, so a lot of times just a lot of pictures, and I'll save those as notes and instead of typing it all out and know what I'm looking at.
So what gets priority for you? Like when your list or your photos you're looking at, how do you know like this is the order I'm doing stuff? Is there certain things you're trying to accomplish, I guess, first?
Yeah, I mean, there's always triage stuff that pops up that like you can't ignore, like an irrigation leak or something like that. When it pops up, it's kind of like the ER. You just got to do it. Greens are always number one, so we're always looking at those. So the greens are always first priority. Once we feel good about that, it's right now everything's dormant, so we're not mowing that much. In season, just making sure everything's mowed out. This time of year, we're dealing with a lot of weed pressure from transition. So we just got done spraying out all the POA. So in about 2 weeks, probably next week, if it doesn't rain as much as it's supposed to, we'll start bringing the high to cut down on the fairways and scalping those out. And that'll take all the POA that we just sprayed out. And got a little bit in some of the greens. It's the most invasive weed on the golf course right now. It's the most studied weed at Auburn, Tennessee, and UGA. So, and it's getting more and more resistant to things, so it's becoming a bigger. So we're really trying to stay on a good pre-merge schedule in the fall. Learned a lot this year. It's getting better every year, but there was so much from when we took over, just the seed bed in there. It's going to take years to get it right. So we're making progress. Larry's out there right now spraying for some of it. Just March is always a funky month because we get these Februarys where it's 70 degrees
and
this week. It's going to be 72,
again.
and then Sunday it's going to be 28.
Yeah.
So you're that kind of stuff too. You're always adjusting for temperature, weather, rain, trying to get that right window where you can do something about it. But yeah, I would say greens, approaches, then fairways, tees, bunkers.
So you kind of work backwards.
Yeah, backwards from the hole for sure.
It's like Tiger. Tiger or
when he looks at a hole, he looks at it backwards. Get out of there, Tiger Woods.
Yeah, that's how he grew up practicing from green to the box.
I thought it was cool that when was it we brought Maddox and Scott out here and we played a match with them, but they'd never been out here. Maddox is the head coach at Point University, and then next thing you know they're out here. I think they had a qualifying event. Like he brought his guys out here just to play.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of his qualifiers out here.
Yeah, because he just fell in love with it. Like the day we played, he said this course is so cool. Can't believe I haven't played it. And then he brought his guys out here, and he said that all his guys just love being out here.
That's awesome.
I like you can swing away.
Oh yeah,
It
especially
feel like
long hitter, or short hitter. We can swing away no matter what. Let's talk about the 2025. I know one of your projects is the range, right? You're doing some work
the
over there
range.
now.
We
Is that being your not complaint, but biggest thing people bring up is like, I can't hit a driver?
Yeah, it's just, part of that's just the fact that it's been so busy. So we redid the range a few years ago as far as just we increased the teeing area on the back because it was getting so much pressure with the length. The back tee at the time was our middle tee now. People were hitting you're hitting driver in the woods down there. So we built the back tee, and then after COVID and everything, the range business keeps picking up and up. And so in the wintertime, you can't fix a divot, you can't grow grass. So it's like that top tee could be gone in a matter of a month. And so right now it's trying to grow enough grass so that people can hit off a quality tee surface. especially when you have a shotgun and there's 100 guys out there
yeah.
hitting medium-sized bucket of balls. I mean, it can dig a trench out there. So last year we top dressed them all, leveled them back out, and it was just a matter of months before that was like we never did it. And then just technology now coming into golf and everything, and then so we finally pulled the trigger and signed the deal with TrackMan Range. So
That's gonna be insane.
it's a little more golf oriented than so you'll be able to see all your some of your spin data, your launch angle. You'll be able to see your distances.
You have
so
like
can
bays out
dial
there?
your
Is that how
irons.
it'll be?
Yeah, there's going to be 10 bays. They'll have a 17-inch screen mounted. It's going to be covered, so we'll be able to have lights. Eventually, we might add some heat. We're going to pre-plumb it for all that stuff. But it's going to be about 25 feet deep, so we'll have tables where you can hang out in the shade.
Oh man.
Depending on the angle of the sun, you might still be, but if it's not a driving range, driving rain, you can hit balls in the rain. And then you'll also be able to take that data, keep it on your phone. So there's actually a QR code on each screen. So when you come up, you can just scan that code on the screen, throw your phone
That's
back in
cool.
your bag or your pocket, and your entire bucket of balls will be mapped out. So if you're like working on your distances or whatnot, there's games and stuff on there too. So at night, we'll probably switch it over where you can do it by the hour and people can come out and do more entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be lit from the front so you can see the ball flight start out, and then we'll probably have some lit targets. We're about to start next week. You probably saw one of the bulldozers out front. We're gonna redo the target greens first. Eventually we want to bowl it out and make it where you can actually see your shot as it goes over. But that's going to be a lot of earthwork, and so we got to get that permitted correctly, and then we're going to have to add some irrigation. We'll have to grow the grass back in. With everything we have going on, I don't want to destroy the range this year, but we are going to go ahead and take some of the trees out in the back and put short net up just to catch the balls, because when we open that, we're going to put new balls. We've got pretty crappy balls, as everybody knows right now.
I think that's all ranges, 90%
lost in
of
the
the
woods.
time.
So we got 20,000 brand new yellow balls waiting. We got an automatic ball machine where you'll be able to, even if it's after hours, you can go pay, get your balls, go out to the TrackMan and dial it in. And then if some days, if you do want to hit off grass, we're going to save some grass to the left so that if people are, they'll be on mats. So that'll take a lot of pressure off the range tees. It'll also back you up so people can hit full shots. But if some days, if like lessons or that kind of stuff, or if people just want to practice off grass, we'll have some grass. Then you can still, the radars will still pick up on the grass. So you can still take your phone. You won't have the screen, but you can use your phone.
Oh man.
You'll still see all the data while you're hitting on your phone. So it'll be fun, like just for games.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be great for kids, getting them involved, because they can have targets and play little games to keep them going.
That's cool.
And but also you'll get some good swing data for for improving your game.
So during the
as
day,
well.
you can just come and get a bucket of balls, and that's included in your ranges going out there.
Yeah, so it'll be
It's
in
not like book it by the hour during the day.
Yeah, during the day, we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, but from talking to other owners that have put it in and been successful with it, a lot of times during the day they'll just do it a bucket price. It'll be included in that. You just go out and hit. You can actually play other courses on there.
Oh man.
Also, since you can't see the back, the whole range will be GPS, so you'll actually see a photo, a drone image that's rendered out of the range. So you'll actually see visually on the screen where your ball's landing, your carry distance. Another cool thing is you can adjust. So like you said, you're playing the Z-Star Diamond, so you're hitting a range ball that's not going to go like your ball is. So you can actually hit a thing on there and it'll give you the data of a premium ball.
Oh, wow.
So, and then it can adjust for wind. So if it's a windy, like when it's doing it, if it's going to know, roughly the direction of the wind if it's coming at you, and premium ball. So it'll give you like your yardage, you actually hit the ball, but what the computer thinks you would have hit that ball you normally play. So you can,
That's crazy.
you can kind of gap your clubs out
Feels
there.
like the future.
But yeah, you just buy some balls during the day, and then at night if it gets busier, because we're gonna get the food and beverage going as well, so you'll be able to go out there and order some food and hang out, and that point, we might switch to an hourly thing where you can rent a bay or reserve a bay so that if you're coming out, you've got one.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like a date night.
we'll
I'm
feel it
telling
out.
you, that'd be leave the spouse at
Couples
home. instead of
couples
friends
combo.
date night.
We're going to take 1, 2 on the end and build a lockable closet, basically, where we can put all our fitting equipment and all that stuff. And then we're working on talking with a couple of pros right now that teach so that we can offer lessons. And then so they'll probably use the in bay. We'll have it set up where you can pull down a screen, divide it, and you can actually go in there and take a lesson in one of the bays.
There's not currently a pro at the Fields, right?
No.
That's
I'll
what
probably have one day. I'm talking
Yeah.
to some people. When I find the right person and the right time, it's definitely something that would be a good addition to what we've got going on.
Because you got to find somebody that matches you. Because I feel like most people, they come to the court, if they're coming for the pro, they're spending all their time with that person. That person is what's going to represent the Fields to them.
Absolutely.
And so if you have somebody out there that's just a stick in the mud the whole time, it's a very bad representation because that's not what the Fields is.
Yeah.
I mean, even your scorecard, you see the rules, no dress code, just have fun. But if you have somebody that's just sticking in the mud, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this
It
is
won't
not.
blend.
No, that's right. I think everybody here we've got an awesome team. So there's somebody out there that's the right person, and when it's the right time, we'll definitely go down that road. But we're not in a hurry to just put somebody in there.
I talked to, we have an older gentleman that he actually comes to church with us, that he was one of the first members, I think I told you before, at the Fields when it first opened. Anyways, he was talking to me about when he played out here and some stuff. He was talking about hole 10 and the tree, and I said, well, actually cut that tree down. And he was so surprised but excited that you did stuff like that. And he thought it was the coolest thing in the world, because even him was saying that when he was here, that he's like, that part of the green was always dead and stuff, and this tree, I wish somebody cut it down. I said, actually cut it down.
Yeah, we cut a bunch of trees on the right. We cut like 20 last year, and then we finally cut the big oak, open up the view line. So that was pretty much an aesthetic thing, so that you could actually feel the hole.
Makes it feel different too when you play it. Like
On the right, this year we'll probably bring some native grasses in to hide the cart path and still make it feel like it's tight. But if you're clearing that, you've got grass to land in, but it'll still give it some of the defense and the feel of what it used to be with the tree. But now you can see the green, and with all those trees gone on the right, we can fix that right side of the green that used to be struggling.
It's my favorite thing that you're willing to change anything, because a lot of the courses, like if we go play Callaway or Point, like there's certain spots on the course you're like, oh, this is always going to be muddy.
Yeah.
Part of the green's always going to be dead, and it just stays that way. And you come out here and it's like, okay, he's doing stuff.
Yeah, turf quality is number one. So I mean, I don't like cutting down trees necessarily. It's not like I hate them. I love trees. But that oak was a beautiful tree, but it was affecting the hole. I mean, you'd always see on the left of the cart path there would be dead turf there. No matter what we did, you're not going to grow it in the shade. So I mean, turf quality, it's a golf course, that's number one. That's our goal this year really, is we're going to put some new bunker sand out there, but we're not going to be taking out any more bunkers. Probably clean some up a little bit. We did a lot of that last year, but really just focus on turf quality.
Yeah.
Try to get the fairways in a lot better shape. We made a lot of improvement last year. Tee boxes, we'll probably lay a little more sod, but this year my focus is really just, we did a lot of work the last 2 years. Now we're going to try to grow it in and really improve turf quality.
Yeah. I think it was last year, you were very transparent on like how I think you were working on greens, and you said a lot of our attention's going to be there, smaller staff's going to be there, so bunkers aren't going to be as pretty as you think they should be, but this is where our focus is.
Yeah.
And I just like that you're open about that so that people aren't like just mad about something, but I know like, oh, he's putting his focus here. That's why this doesn't look this way. But
and a lot of people still would get mad about it, but that's why we took out. We took out like 11 bunkers, but they're a lot of maintenance.
Is it hard to get bunkers out? You just dig the sand out and plant sod?
Kinda. You've got to still, like number 8, we took that out, but we still kept the front ridge, but we flattened it out where there's still the defense there. If you short side that right side of that green, it actually could be a harder shot now, because where the bunker, it might stay up close to the pin where you're at. If you're a good sand player, you're pretty close. Now it's gonna hit and it's gonna roll back, and you're gonna have a tight lie there, and you're gonna have a hard. So people are like, oh, you're just making it too easy. Well, that's probably a harder shot, but that was one of the larger bunkers on the course, and you couldn't even see it from the tee. So a lot of people, their first time, it's a surprise. So that was a maintenance thing. It's just so we're able to mow that hole better. All that sand's expensive. So, you know, we want to keep the ones that are right, but
Mhm.
you know, like those 2 on 18 we took out. I mean, now with the length, I mean, if you're hitting that ridge and rolling back down, you're already penalized.
Yeah,
And
it's a
and
long
those
shot.
got a lot of water washing in, and if we had one storm, they're horrible. And
Yeah.
then somebody's last experience for the day, their first time out here, and day after a rainstorm, those things are washed out, and you're
Yeah.
sitting in that, and you're just like, what is this place doing? So those decisions are just like where we can put our focus on what we need to. So, because bunkers, they're expensive and they're a lot of work to maintain. So this year we'll try to keep them in a little better shape. But yeah, I appreciate saying that. That's what we're trying
Yeah,
to do.
I love the
is just tell people
transparency.
that, hey, that's what we're doing. But
I love it. That's one of my favorite courses.
Do you, as a like golf designer, and I guess just as a golf designer, do you enjoy hole 8 out here? I can't stand that hole. I just want to know what your thoughts are on that hole. Other than when you're in the green, it's a beautiful view. But do you enjoy that hole? Like when you?
I do when I hit it good. But
Yeah.
and two, we've got this year, like we were working on the tee box. We're gonna probably resod that tee and make it a little bigger there.
Was
There
it
was
always going to be
another
a
one
par
that-
3 when your dad was
Yeah,
designing?
it was
Okay.
going to be a par 3, but so the tees were back a lot this year, made
Mhm.
it a lot harder.
Yeah.
So even guys that were usually playing whites, a lot of times they were on the back of the blues, and that hole can shift 180 degrees on the wind too, just like 9. So, you know, if you got a wind behind you, it's not bad. On a windy day and
Yeah.
you're back there, it
Mhm.
can be tough. But I actually like 8. It's one of my favorite views on the course, just seeing
Mhm.
that flag stick just sticking up there with nothing but sky behind it.
Is
And
it
then
the
when you're-
biggest green out here?
It's the biggest green out
Okay,
here.
yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's one of those. We were filming. Was it with Kelly? And we were playing the blues because we were doing the
She's
scramble,
playing
and it was like 220.
yeah, it's crazy how long you can make it because of how big that green
Yeah.
is like that. Yeah, I just want to know your thoughts on hole 8.
Love the view.
Yeah, love the view. It's a
Not
great
the way
one.
it plays.
I guess my last question I have for you, and I kind of want to know just your thoughts on like, what's your dream for the fields, like long term? What do you want this course to be?
I mean, successful so we can keep doing it. I want people to come play, but I mean, really what we're doing, I want to see people come out, enjoying it. I mean, dream-wise, I think Dad and I want it to be a model for what public golf can be. He's still building. I mean, I'm starting to take over some of that stuff from him. I mean, I want to hopefully I can assemble a good enough team as it's successful, and we can afford to pay some more people, that I can hire people smarter than I am and step back and let them, you know, really bring the place to the next level. And then I can move into more of a renovation and design work, and work with Dad while he's still doing that. Because there's a lot of these courses out there that just need some love and need polishing up, and some that are just bring them out what's there. So if we can use this, get it in enough shape where we can use it as a tool to show people, but I think just expand the culture of the game, and it be a viable place that can be here long after I'm done doing it. And so I think everybody always says owner, and I mean, it's true, but like on the, you know, deed or whatever, but I don't really think of it like that. Like there's people here that the original, even though Dad designed it, I mean, the original team that had the vision to do it, and then the guys that came in before us did some good things. And I think a lot of golf courses, I mean, St. Andrews has been there, you know, 400 or 500 years. Some of these courses in the States been here, you know, since the early 1900s or late 1800s. And I think you're more of a steward of the place while you're here than an owner. 'Cause there'll be a point where I'm not, and somebody else is going to have it. And hopefully, if you can create a culture and a legacy and things that stick, where people, some of the best courses, like they have that, where hey, this has got a you know, a heritage to it, then somebody's going to take that and keep going, and it not just be something where, oh well, I own this place and it's my playground, and I'm going to do what I want. But a lot of the courses that stand the test of time, there's a certain respect where you're working with it. They're always evolving, but you know, somebody's trying to keep it what it is. So I think that would be the dream. I mean, obviously we'd like it to be the best public course in the state at some point, and that's going to take some time, and we're happy where we're at. But I guess that'd be the answer.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it. Do you? I guess this made me spark another question real quick. Do you, when they come do the public rankings, do you know when they're coming to do that, or how do they just send somebody to play it?
I honestly don't know
I was
how a
gonna say.
lot of that works. I mean,
I didn't know if, like,
some
you
of
know-
it's probably politics. It's probably who's on the board at the time.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
we've had Raiders come out here and they hate it, and you get, all those things are so subjective. I mean, it's a lot of them are groupthink. There's a lot of great courses that aren't on them. There's probably courses that are on a lot of the lists that people are, but I mean, it's a good marketing tool and it's a good thing to have. But I mean, I think as long as people are coming from and you enjoy it when you're out here, like that's success. Like if people are enjoying the place, at the end of the day, the rankings, don't mean a lot. I mean, they help get the word out, but I mean, it's whatever it is to you that day you're here.
If I can get off the tee, it's a good day.
We'll
I've
see.
had several days where we're headed down the front, and what is it, 6? And you hit it over that hill, and then that ball just rolls, and then you got that tall grass. I'm like, oh, here we go. It'll turn on you real quick.
The whole day. No, it's fun being out here. We enjoy it, and we're always thankful for you, like being so willing to let us come out here and stuff. And definitely coolest course in any driving distance we have to be a part of and be around. So
We
we're
appreciate that.
thankful. Yeah. So check out on Instagram the Fields Golf Club. You'll see all the updates they're doing, and especially if you're in the area, come play it. We love being out here and playing it. So come check it out. You got anything?
I got an announcement.
Go ahead. You can say it. I'll let you go for it.
So we're working with Ashley,
Mm-hmm.
and now we are on staff with Srickson.
Thanks to my guy Ashley, making dreams
Yeah.
come true for us out
I had
here.
to have y'all. I saw y'all's post on there, and I called the rep. Was like, man, what can we do about this? So we'll keep you guys in balls and gloves and
So
rounds of golf, whatever we can do to.
not only an owner
Help you
and an
out.
architect and a tractor driver, but making dreams come reality.
Oh yeah, I told y'all I had some of these. We sold a couple of them, but we got 2 left. So y'all gave me these forever ago, but we got some
Oh,
Fields
yeah.
logos.
That's so cool. Love it.
There's y'all a couple of
Perfect
hats.
partnership.
Partnership. We love it. We appreciate everything.
But, no, I mean, we appreciate it too, and helping us get the word out. So one more thing, we'll finally have food in
chicken
April.
salad
So we
sound
just
boy.
got a liquor license. We got the first liquor license ever in
Uh-huh.
Troup County. So that passed on November's ballot, and that'll help us employ, wait staff and people can have a transfusion at the turn.
Can't
and,
wait for it.
events that'll help out and stuff. But also we're gonna finally have food, so we're
Yeah.
hoping to have that open by Masters Week. Fingers crossed,
That'd be
launching
big.
at the same time as TrackMan, and so
Also, TrackMan stuff be going in by April.
yeah,
Oh,
we're
I didn't know
scheduled
that
to
soon.
be that's where the pad's out there right now. So hopefully be pouring concrete in a few weeks, and then mid-March we'll put the structure up, and then
man.
TrackMan's supposed to come install the last week of March. So we've got a lot to do
Yeah.
before then. So yeah, hopefully the limited food options at first. Eventually it goes. We'll probably open on the weekends for dinner and stuff, but right now we're at least going to get some sandwiches and hot dogs at the turn, and TrackMan going. That should all happen basically the same week if all goes
So
as planned.
You're almost going to be offering everything a high-end country club offers, but public course price experience. And
Public course vibes too.
yeah, that's crazy. that
So
you're able to do that.
relaxed.
So
Have you ever been approached somebody wanting to make this a private club, country club?
I've been approached by a few people wanting to buy it outright. One of them recently, and
Was it tempting?
for a second, but I'm not done with it yet.
Yeah.
We know what it can be 10 years down the road, and I couldn't go replicate this. I mean, I couldn't find another first course my dad did. Couldn't find this piece of land. Couldn't
Yeah.
find, LaGrange is growing. It would, it's tempting, I guess, for a second on those rough days when you're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But no, we politely declined. But and I don't know what somebody like to do with it, but I don't think we want it to be private. I mean, golf originally was a public game, and I think you can offer those amenities. I mean, we're not going to be a member I mean, we want to make everybody feel like they were a member. I think the staff does a good job making everybody feel the same when they're out here. But I mean, a lot of public courses offer food and some of those offerings, and the technology. Next 5 years, you're probably going to see it at any place worth their salt because it's getting less and less expensive. People are wanting that kind of data. It's out there, so we're trying to be on the front end and so that we're known for that. But I'm sure a lot of golf courses around us in the coming years are going to have that kind of stuff. But yeah, we call it one of our sayings. We probably need to do better about it. We call it a club in the country, not a country club.
That'd be on a shirt.
But yeah, maybe one of these days.
Ace running on it.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
We got some good merch coming out this year, so that maybe we'll have to put that on it. We got a lot of new lines. We got a restriction on. We got our Titleist account going, so we'll have a Titleist. We've got all the big names in the shop, so the shop should be starting look better. It's looking good already, but we got some fun merch ideas, working with Seth on some stuff, and so yeah, a lot happening this year.
I'm excited for it. I feel like last year was already a big year for you. I can't imagine what 2025 is going to be like. So excited about it. Well, go check out the fields on Instagram and come out here and play it. I guess that's the best way to experience. Like, just come out here and play it.
Let us know when you come.
Yeah. Maybe we can come play, or either just watch one of our videos when we play here, but come do it. It's even better just to come experience. So appreciate you, Ashley, coming on.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it. It helps get the word out. So thank y'all a lot. Like what y'all do as well. Well, fun seeing the videos.
Yeah, I wish we played better.
Right.
But yeah, go check it out, and we'll see you on the next episode. See you.